Okay, so today I just wanted to run through something a little bit different with you all, just to show you how a swing can move and progress right from the beginning, right from when you first start playing the game. So this is Mark. He hasn't got a handicap. It's the first time I've met him. This lesson was around the 30th of September. So like I said, new to me, never met him before. He's a beginner. He's not got a handicap. He's never had any lessons, and he's been playing about 5 months or so, something like that. Uh, and the swing he's got is he's been picked up from from YouTube and from friends. So I just want to show you a couple of things and show you how they start to develop in kind of a sequence. Um, his main complaints were really of shots going off to the right. When I first asked him, he said he didn't really know. He said he kind of hit it anywhere if it wasn't going straight. And obviously, one of the first things I like to do with people to start off with is to get them to focus on their alignment and on a target. Doesn't matter how random the pattern seems, there is always a pattern. No matter how random your shots are, if you think you're hitting all different types of shots, there is always a pattern. The first mistake people make really is they don't really focus on a target. They don't make sure they're aiming at that target, and then kind of look at what happens to the ball flight from there. So that's the first thing we did, and after we did that, the pattern was definitely off to the right. If he kind of miss hit it, or if he didn't miss hit it, sorry, it was definitely off to the right. Push slices off to the right hand side. Of course, he hit straight ones as well, but if he didn't miss hit it or hit it straight, definitely push slice. So let's have a look at his swing and see what's possibly causing these push slices. So I'm just going to start to swing him back. The one on the left here is his before swing, and the one on the right was after we just talked and discussed a few things. So just let you have a look at this swing on the left here. I'm just going to run it all the way through, all the way up to the top. Like I said, there's no instructions, so everything he's got he's kind of picked up himself. Alright, and then just play this down and just let you have a look. Okay, this shot on the left, he actually caught a bit fat. You can just see the club going under the ball here. Just caught it a little bit fat. So let's have a bit of a look, see if we can help him out with some of these shots, these pushes and these push slices. So I'm just going to go right back to the beginning of his swing, right from the start. Now, the way I try and get people to think about the takeaway area here and moving the club away is almost as if you were hitting it, a 4 or a 10-foot putt. You wouldn't really have much rotation going on in the putter head in that first, that first 2 or 3 feet of swinging the putter head, and it's the same in the golf swing. I try and keep the club face to stay looking at the ball, so there's not much rotation going on early on, and you can kind of see we've got a little bit of roll in the hands, a little bit of rotation in the forearms, and immediately this club face is being turned away from the ball and opened up. Now, it isn't the worst thing in the world. It's not not ideally how I would like it, but it's not the worst thing in the world as long as it gets put back and gets put back early. But what happens is the golfer either being taught like this or doesn't know it, keeps the club face open. So as we get to the top of the swing, you can see this club face now very, very toe down and very, very open here at the top. I'd like it a lot more closed than that. Very, very biased to this club face here facing the sky is how I would like it. Anything toe down like this gives a player a lot of work to do in the downswing. Like I say, talking more to the average population of golf, and you're seeing this trend even at the top of the game, but this has got an awful lot of work now to do to close. So as we come down, this is what Mark does, what most people do. They just keep the club face open. So I'm just going to start pulling him down. There's nothing going on at the moment to try and shut this face down. So What he's going to do now is start to release his lag. So this angle here between the kind of the body here and the shaft is going to get a lot wider. So he's going to start to cast this club out. He's going to start to straighten his arms, which means he loses his power. And again, if we're looking at the body here in general, you can just see how this body starts to shut down and almost stop. You can see just how straight these arms look over here on the left-hand side of the golf ball. About here is where he's going to run out of his full range. So you can still see the club face is open and his full range of motion is used out of his joints. You can see this is like, you know, it's like a boxer throwing a punch and coming up short. His arms are fully extended. And to continue the swing, Mark's got a very common problem here. He's going to try and flip this club round. So the left wrist is, you know, he's going to extend. The right wrist is going to flex underneath. Alright, and he's going to try and flip it round. Then depending on how good this flip is, depends on where the ball goes. You know, if you progress with this and play with it for a year and practice, you know, you might get it fairly consistent and improve, but it's not really how the best players would swing and release the club. And all these troubles stemming from this club face and from this very first movement. You can see how this first movement is contributing to all these problems. So the fix over here on the right, obviously we're not trying to do everything. He's only been playing for 5 months, so we've got to do it in baby steps. The first thing that we're doing over here on the right hand side is just to simply keep the club face looking at the ball. So in this first instance here, we're trying to kill a little bit of the rotation out of the arms and the hands and just keep the club face looking at the ball, kind of like a simplified chipping action. In the top of the swing, he's still going to open it up and he's still going to cast his arms, because like I said, this is only one lesson and we've got to start somewhere. But if I play these kind of side by side, you can just see how much different the club face looks. You know, you can see here definitely more rolling going on. You can see this one looks a little bit duller here on the right hand side. The club face doesn't look as shiny as the one over here on the left, which means you know, it's a little bit more closed or a little bit more square. So this is his first lesson. This is what he's got to go away and practice. After doing this, you know, he got more consistent. You know, he was still pushing him, but he wasn't push slicing them. So you know, instead of missing it a long way right, he was hitting it just maybe 10 or 15 yards to right if he didn't get it straight. And also more consistent in terms of striking the ball. He was hitting regularly the ball up into the air rather than, you know, miss-hitting one and then hitting one straight and then one off to the right and then miss-hitting a couple more. This one over here was a lot more consistent straight away. So this is the starting point. Like I say, I only got him to focus on this first move here. If I see him again in the future, obviously we'll continue to work on the rest of it.